I've been a professional truck driver for what seems like my entire adult life. Over 2 million miles behind the wheel of a truck, hauling freight from the Atlantic to the Pacific. To this day, I'm still a trucker at heart, even though I left it all behind. The job, my family, my friends. I came here looking for something more. Everyone called me crazy, but I knew it in my heart. I needed to make a change. So I moved halfway around the world to a new continent, new culture, new way of life, ready to take on the next challenge. I spent my life driving 18-wheelers across the Canadian prairies and over the Rocky Mountains. Long nights behind the wheel, hauling 70 tons like a freight train on wheels. I never thought I'd get that feeling again. To the natives of British Columbia, the Kodiak bear is a symbol for strength, courage, and confidence. And for me, the Skoda Kodiak carries on that legacy.
So lately I was feeling a bit stuck, creatively and like career-wise. And then I meet one of my friends for beers, and I find out that the ad agency is looking for more filmmakers for the roster. So their go-to people that they would call when there's a job coming up, or if it's like a good fit for their style, etc., etc. So I give them a call, and it turns out they have an assignment they are giving everyone who is applying, and it's a spec automotive commercial. The assignment looks something like this, and I'm gonna read it. Shoot a 30-second Reels video for an automotive client. You can use anything from cheap car sharing service to a bike. The assignment has to be done in a week. Whew. Okay, that was a mouthful. So I did what any sane person would do, and I went completely overboard. My thinking was, if I'm gonna shoot a spec ad, I might as well do it properly. You know, I might as well use this assignment as a portfolio piece. I'm gonna do it in my own style, in my own way, and however I really want to do it. I thought I gotta really invest into this. So still, for an ad world, this would be quite low budget. But for someone who is funding it themselves from their own salary with like no corporate money or anything, this was actually quite a big budget to be paying from your own pocket. And the reason being why I did that is because I saw this presentation. It's by an Austrian DP, Christoph Tilly, where he's talking extensively about shooting spec and then getting work based on that.
Keep challenging yourself and keep learning. I shot all of these commercials, and it's pretty big commercials sometimes. It's like 200, 300K of budget, but there's still so much I can improve and still so much I can learn. I don't have time on a commercial set to do it. So basically, I want to keep learning. I want to keep improving, and the only way to do it is like going back to the first place where I've been: spec and learn. Shoot specs, shoot stuff on your own. Shoot something for your own creativity. And try to improve yourself.
So the first step is, which brand of a car should I get for this? I thought, oh, maybe I should get a Tesla, I should get a Range Rover, it would be really cool. But in the end, I decided to go for a Skoda, just because the ad agency has Skoda as a client. So I really wanted them to really picture themselves in this situation, like I can shoot a Skoda, you know, like the more specific your spec is to the ad agency's needs or the client's needs, the higher chance you have they will hire you, because they don't have to imagine anything extra. They can see, oh, we are doing Skoda, he did a Skoda, he did it well, okay, that's a fit, we're hiring. So that's my thinking. The next question is, like, which which model should I get? So I'm looking through the website and I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of expensive. It costs over like 2,000 per day for small cars, for like a Karok base model. So I'm like, oh my god, and I need it for 3 days. Gonna rent it on Friday and have it for the whole weekend, probably return it on Monday morning or something like that. So basically I'm paying for 3 days, and now that gets expensive, and there's no insurance yet, so that's another like 2,000. So I was talking to all these rentals, and I was really reluctant to tell them that I'm using this for a car shoot, because I don't know, maybe they would be worried about the car, they would not like treat us normally. But then I just went for it with one of them, and he was like, oh, that's cool. So if you like mention us in a video, we can get you a free upgrade from a lower model to a higher model. Still, we had to pay quite a bunch of money for everything, even for the cleanup in the end, which was quite a surprise, because the only thing that was dirty was really the driver's carpet. Okay, so now I got the car, I'm invested in this already, and I need to get people. So I need at least 2 people for this job, a picture car driver and a camera car driver, because I'm gonna be the one with the camera. But I was so lucky, and I got 2 absolute legends, one of them being my climbing friend Martin, who just agreed to be a driver of the camera car, and an absolute legend Mark, who is a real life truck driver with 2 million miles under his belt, which is just crazy. I met him at work, and yeah, he's a super awesome dude, and they immediately said yes. It was so easy. I was so panicked about like, how am I gonna convince people last minute that we're going shooting during the weekend, but they just said yes, which was nice. So don't be afraid to ask people, because they might find it fun in the end. It really is that easy, and I was really panicked. They like, everybody would say no, so that was awesome. Okay, so now that I got everything technical done, I need to think about the creative concept. I'm not just gonna go in a garage, take a long tube, like an Aster tube, and wave it around and make a video like everyone else has made like 200,000 times before. I'm procrastinating, I'm thinking a lot, like what am I gonna do? Oh my god, it's already Thursday, I gotta go to work. I'm full-time video maker at a company. It finally clicks in, I'm like, wait a minute. I could use Mark's personal story. Mark is a truck driver who's got 2 million miles under his belt, and a driving instructor and an overall great person. He dared to move across the Atlantic to a new job, to something he has never done before, and to live here on his own. And I could make that into a story as a Canadian basically driving a Skoda, which, you know, I think it's kind of interesting. So like, he is perfect for this story. So I write up this little draft and I send it to him, and I'm like, oh man, I hope he liked it. Not only he said yes, but he also improved upon that script and put some really interesting lines into that. I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna do something super cool. Okay, great, now I got all the pieces. I only have to rent all the gear, shoot it, return the gear, start editing, shoot for a second day to pick up some shots I might have missed, return the car, finish the edit while going to work, so I only got evenings for it, and then send it off. Basically shooting Saturday, Sunday, and on Tuesday I already have to give them the whole product. So this is getting pretty stressful for me at this point. So this is the state of things right now, and oh fuck man, I cannot get this car mount to actually work, which is annoying. And it is 9, and in 12 hours we're shooting. Basically I managed to do the mount at home, so that's perfect. The shoot day comes and we meet up at around 9 a.m. because we like to sleep in. I'm not gonna make my friends get up at 5 just to have a sunrise shot. I mean, they're doing me a favor. I'm not gonna make this a painful experience, you understand? So basically we gotta drive there for an hour, which takes an hour of the schedule, and the sun sets at around 4:30 p.m. So you have like 7.5 hours, but there's an hour drive Then we have to prep the car mount. That's gonna take an hour. Then we shoot for like 2 hours, the rolling shots, the most important shots. Then we do the rest. Basically, like we have 5 hours of daylight to shoot. That's another stressor, but it's pretty fine. We arrive at the place and look what happens with the car mount. So yeah, this ain't working. Oh guys, what do you think? I don't know. Yeah. We can't publish this.
How many arms? How much is the camera?
So it's safe to say we're not happy about the car mount. It's a magnetic car mount that probably works well on very flat surfaces, probably on vans or like work cars, but it did not work well on my Toyota Yaris. So we had to resort to the plan B, which definitely did not look like this clip from Instagram. Or maybe it did, I don't know. Nobody knows, nobody will know. But just make sure if you're gonna do something dangerous like this, to wear a climbing harness. Make sure you tie yourself in to a very secure point, probably where the seats are mounted into the chassis. Make sure you cannot physically fall out of the car if you're gonna do this. I'm not saying we did this, but if you're gonna do this, do it the safe way, and it still won't protect you from a head-on collision. So don't do anything stupid. I do not take responsibility for anyone trying to replicate any of this. We got that out of the way. So we drive around these spots that Martin has suggested, and we're getting all these cool sunny shots, and we're like, oh cool, we're getting the hang of this. We're learning to use our walkie-talkies, synchronize our speeds, you know, really think about that video. We did like, I don't know, 10 iterations, maybe less, because, you know, it takes a lot of time. Then we had lunch, we dumped the footage, and we're like, oh, these shots are pretty cool. And then we drive up to where the intro is supposed to be, to a big, like a canyon area, and it starts snowing extremely. Like, I cannot emphasize how different the weather was from the sunny morning to the snowstorm afternoon. If you edit, if you have edited a video ever, you know that having vastly different weather during the shoot can make it not coherent. So that's a massive problem. So I'm thinking, well, maybe we start these shots like from the canyon, it's really snowy, it's like Canada-like, and then it gets like really bright by the end, and it's gonna work real cool, but there's gonna be like hope, you know, and nice and sunny weather. So maybe we can edit it in this way. But then we get this shot. I mean, oh my God, this is the shot you want in your portfolio. This is the shot that you want in your show reel. This is exactly it. I mean, goddamn. So I'm like, wow, okay, let's do it snowy. So this is more like Canada-like. Maybe it's gonna be more in tune with his story. So this is gonna work. We work with it, and now we get an even better shot. We're overtaking him, and it's looking super cool. The snow is flying by. My hands are freezing. It's horrible, and I'm just so excited at this point. But it's not the end of the day yet. We gotta go shoot the car wash, because I just thought like the more scenes we have, the more dynamic it is. It's supposed to be this fluorescent lighting, maybe like very green, No Country for Old Men type of deal. And the car wash is super far away, and I wanted to be like a blue hour thing, so we could see parts of the sky still. So we couldn't drive that far. So Martin, once again, the best location scout ever, suggests a car wash that is conveniently branded car wash. I mean, it's perfect. Like, there's no stupid branding they had to shoot around. It looks cool, it looks modern. And we just did our thing over there. It was super easy. We just went really intuitively with it. Mark had some suggestions. Martin had some suggestions about the shot. It was a real team effort in every single one of those scenes. Ideas flying around. I really want to stress how open you should be to other people's ideas when you're shooting something. Even though you might have a plan, it's gonna change. Maybe with the weather, maybe because some of this rented gear is not working the way you thought it would be working. So just staying flexible and on your feet and being real quick and thinking about the edit while you're shooting it, how it's gonna work, is super important. So we called it a day at around 5:30 p.m., which was great because it was like an 8.5 hour day. I hate 12 and more hour shoots. And we went home. I returned our gear, everything was fine. And the next day I started the edit. And I really wanted it to be like a calm experience. So I picked this piano track and I'm like, maybe it's a little too depressing, but I'll try to put it in. And I make this edit without the voiceover. I'm like, oh, this works super well. Like all I'm missing is Mark talking in the car, like you seeing him driving, and maybe some cool cityscape shots, you know, because I had this 360 camera and I saw this Blaine Westrop's video on YouTube, how he was driving around New York, and it was the coolest thing ever. He was changing the field of view constantly and then make the buildings grow and shrink. It was pretty cool, so I wanted to do that too, but I took a huge risk taking the camera during the night. And yeah, the shots ended up being a little grainy, but still pretty cool. We also did the voiceover. It was pretty simple. I didn't even mount the camera or anything. I just had a tripod on the passenger seat holding the camera. We did the whole voiceover thing, so I would definitely have the voiceover, but with a lot of noise because we used the lav mic. Mark came by my place and we made the voiceover as on a more professional mic, so it would be like nice and clean, and I could sound design the noise back under it. And even though it didn't exactly match the cadence in the car, I made it so I could cut it up and make it seem like the final shot from it is like the way he said it.
And for me, the Skoda Kodiak carries on that legacy. And to me, the Skoda Kodiak carries on that legacy. Even though it doesn't fit, but you can fool your audience like this, which is kind of cool. I put in some sound design. I use a lot of pouring grain and pouring sand noises for like the snow coming into the lens. I think that worked really well. I put in some footsteps, some car door sounds and everything, and I think it worked out really well. Like for me, I was super happy with the edit. I was not as happy with anything for the past year as I was happy from this. Like getting these shots and doing something that you have envisioned and overcoming all these problems, and the friends helping you with the whole thing, and just being really engaged in the whole process and being happy when it goes well. It's just such a rewarding team experience. I couldn't like thank the guys enough for helping me do this, you know. The result was just awesome. Mark loved it, Martin loved it, I loved it, even my mom loved it. I mean, of course, like why shouldn't she love it? But the best thing of all is that the agency loved it. So some work is gonna stem from that. Plus I got to do something in my own style, but I could not do that on a commercial shoot. I would have to do like really bright and sunny and positive thing, and this would not fly. And when you get these shots, like the rolling shot I mentioned earlier, I get goosebumps, and this is the reason I am doing this job. It's for the shots that are just the nicest shot you have ever done until that point, and the next time you are only getting better and better. And it's just so rewarding, you know, like when something looks like super professional and you know you have elevated something that you've been doing to another level, and to a level that you have not reached before, and now you're at this level. But then again, you gotta shoot your next spec to get better. So go out, shoot spec, get more jobs, and repeat. All right, see you next time.
this is my little baby, and I'm so proud of it that we did something, not because it's so great or something, just because it's for myself.